Hey guys, how's it going? It's Thang. Welcome to another build guide video. So today in this video we're looking at the Crusaders brand new, well, pretty much upgraded version of the Hammerdin or the Hammerstorm or whatever you want to call it for patch 2.4.3. Now I'm on the PTR, which means that anything and everything can change before I hit live server. If it changes a lot, we'll make a new video. If it changes just very minorly, just compensate and move on with your life. Okay, so this build is pretty much like before, except for one single item makes it much better. It's called Faithful Memory. Now it's been rehashed so that way it has actually a legendary power, so it increases your damage of your Blessed Hammer by 50 to 60% every single time you do the Fallen Sword skill. So once you land, you get that increase in damage, and that's everything just pretty much pow dies. Well, hopefully everything pretty much pows die. So enjoy that little clip, and we'll head into the skills, the gears, and all that other stuff. Okay, I'll see you very soon. Alright, so welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little clip. We're going to jump into the stats priority first. Our main stats priority is going to be cooldown reduction. This is very important. You want it as high as much as you can because we want Akarat's champion to be up as much as we can, because that is pretty much our damage increase and our survivability right there. And also our other skills, we want to spam them as much as we can as well. Okay, so cooldown reduction is top priority, and then we have critical hit chance, and then critical damage, and then area plus damage, and then holy plus damage, and blessed hammer plus damage if you can, those last two. Okay, but mainly cooldown reduction is very important in this build. Okay, so now for our gears, we're going to be using the full 6-piece bonus of Seeker of the Light right here. So there is no going to be Ring of Royal Grandeur. We just want the full entire thing as best as we can right there. So we get the 6-piece set bonus, 2-piece set. Every use of Blessed Hammer that hits an enemy reduces the cooldown of Falling Sword and provoke by 1 second. And then number 4, you take 50% less damage for 8 seconds after landing with Fallen Sword. And then next is going to be increase the damage of Blessed Hammer by 1250%, and falling sword by 500%. So that is pretty good right there. That's why I want the 6-piece set bonus. Next is going to be our endless walk right here with compass rose, and then the traveler's pledge right there. So 2-piece set bonus. While moving, your damage is reduced by up to 50%, and while standing still, your damage dealt is increased up to 100%. So with this build itself, you really don't want to move as much. You want to use your fallen sword as much as you can to move around if you can do that. If you can't, that's fine. You have to move anyways. So that's why we have that there. Next one is going to be Joanna's argument to increase the attack speed of our Blessed Hammer. And then we have Guard of Joanna. Blessed Hammer damage is increased by X amount, so 200 to 250% for the first 3 enemy it hits. So anything that's around you will die really, really quick. And then we have Gabriel's Vambraces. When your Blessed Hammer hits 3 or fewer enemies, X amount of its wrath cost is refunded, so 75 to 100%. I got the lower end of the stick right there, so that kind of sucks for me. Next is going to be the Sacred Harness. So Judgment gains the effect of the debilitate rune and is cast at your landing location when casting Falling Sword. So that rune itself, where is that? Right there, Judgment. That rune itself right here, debilitate. Enemies in the judge area deal 40% reduced damage for 6 seconds. So that's great, except for the only enemies that pretty much will kill you is range enemies. So try to hit them if you can, because whenever they shoot arrows or projectiles, you're pretty much gonna be one-shotted at higher grade rift levels. Try to avoid them as much as you can. So that's why we have the Sacred Harness right there. Lastly is going to be the Conventions of Elements. So whenever you have Holy, you gain X amount of increased damage, so 150 to 200%. So end of the stick right there. That's why we have that. So whenever it hits Holy, you spam as much as you can, and then everything just dies. See, Holy right there, then we spam, everything dies. Everything just dies. Okay. Anyways, for the Kanai cube, we have the Faithful Memory in our Kanai cube because we want its max, not the min or in between. Each enemy hit by Fallen Sword increase the damage of Blessed Hammer by 60% for 10 seconds. Yay. Next is going to be Hammer Jammers. Enemies take 400% increased damage from your Blessed Hammer for 10 seconds after you hit them with Blind, Immobilize, or Stun. So that means that in our skills, we'll have our Blind, Immobilize, or Stun, whichever one that is. Most likely it's going to be Fallen Sword, stunning thing, right? Next is going to be the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac right here. Reduce the main cooldown of your skills by 1 second when you hit an enemy with a resource spending attack. So this pretty much synergizes with your first piece set bonus from your Secret of the Light for Fallen Sword and Provoke, because we want those two up as much as we can, so that way we can gain back resource and also keep increasing our damage and then increasing our toughness at the same time. Okay, next is going to be our gems. Okay, we want all the diamonds in the world into our sockets because we're a bit squishy. Just to say if you want to use the strength gems, you can, but you are going to be squishy. You want as much toughness as you can. And then we want the diamond gem into our helm as well for cooldown reduction, and of course the green gem into our weapon. For our legendary gems, we're going to be using the Gokak of Swiftness to increase our 1 attack speed and dodge, and also cooldown reduction as well, 3 in 1. That's why we want that there. Then we're going to have the Bane of the Stricken and the Bane of the Trap. No need for me to explain those two because it just increases your damage. Alright, so for our Paragon levels, we want to match with our boots so that we have 25% increased speed, so up to 25%, okay? And everything else into strength. Next is our offensiveness, cooldown reduction, critical chance, critical damage, and then lastly is attack speed. Defensiveness, we want resist all first, armor, life regen, then life. Lastly is utility, resource cost reduction, and area damage. Those two are your main top priority. And then lastly is life per hit. So that is our Paragon level. Okay, so now for our skills, we're going to be using Blessed Hammer with Limitless. When the hammer hits an enemy, there is a 50% chance that a new hammer will be created at that location of the enemy hit. This can only occur once per hammer. So every single time you swing a hammer, let's say like swing a hammer, So every single time one of those hammer hits an enemy, it creates a brand new hammer at that enemy hit location, but only one time only, okay? So that's why we use that, so that we can have multiple or more than one hammer being shot out, okay? So next is going to be Akarat's champion right here with Prophet Rune. So this pretty much increases our damage by 35%, Wrath regeneration as well, increases also our armor by 150%, so that increases our toughness and survivability. And also because of Prophet Rune, we get a little cheat death. God, this is a really great skill and rune. Why can't the monk have this one too? My gosh. Okay, so next is going to be Iron Skin. Now you can use either charged up or flash right here. So flash, if you take a damage while in Iron Skin, your movement speed is increased by 60% for 5 seconds, and you can move through enemies unhindered. Or you can use charged up. Your metal skin is electrified, giving you a 20% chance to stun enemies within 10 yards for 20 seconds. So when an enemy is stunned constantly, you get increase in damage with your Blessed Hammer. So you gotta remember that, okay? Next is going to be Fallen Sword with Flurry right here. Whenever you launch yourself in the air, you come back down, and then not only that, you will summon a flurry of swords for X amount of damage, but also at the very same time, you incapacitate them for 5 seconds, which means stunning them for 5 seconds. So that's way that you get increase in damage from your Blessed Hammer there. So that is where our stun comes from. Okay, so for our laws, so you can use one or the other. I'm using Decaying Strength just to increase in my survivability. You don't have to use that. You can actually use Critical with Laws of Valor if you want more damage. This will kill things much faster, but at the same time, I've noticed if I don't have enough toughness, I'm going to fall down and die like shit. So that's up to you whether you want to use one or the other. Whichever playing style is best for you, okay? Okay, so lastly is going to be Provoke with Too Scared to Run. Taunt all enemies and restore your wrath for each enemy's taunted. But even if you don't, hit any enemies with your taunt, you'll still regenerate 30 wrath anyways. The rune Too Scared to Run will decrease their attack speed by 50% and their movement speed by 80% for 4 seconds. So that's why we have that there. For passive skills, we're going to be using Holy Cause to increase our damage dealt by 10%. And also, whenever we deal holy damage, we heal ourselves for 1% of our total life. Okay. Next is going to be Fever right here. While wielding a one-handed weapon, yay, one-handed, your attack speed is increased by 15% and all cooldowns are reduced by 15%. This is very important. 15% increase in cooldown reduction. Next is going to be Blunt with increase the damage of your Justice and Blessed Hammer by 20% because our main attack is Blessed Hammer, yay. Last is Finally right here, so gain 1.5% strength for every gem socket into your gear. So this is a multiplicative. You can have, I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10%, well, it's 15% increase in strength. So that is very important. Now, you don't have to use Finery if you don't want to. You can always use Indestructible if you do feel like you're dying a lot, but then that removes it from the DPS, okay? Okay, so now for our followers, we're going to be using the Templar because I feel like I need more Wrath regeneration even though I don't. But at the same time, I'd like to have some healing from the Templar because I do feel they're a little bit squishy. We're going to be using its Immortal Relic for right there. Next is actually going to be Thunder Fury, not the Azrath, because I actually don't have the Thunder Fury on him, so it would be equipped it. But Thunder Fury on here so that it reduces the mob's attack speed by, I believe, 60% or 30% whenever it procs. And then we're going to be using the S of Johan right here to pull enemies all together and then slowing them by 80%. Then we're going to use the Oculus Ring right here so that when it drops down its a little circle, you're going to try to stand in it and just do some hammer if you can. Next is going to be the Wayward Ring so that whenever your Thunder Fury procs, it stuns the mob. Well, your Templar Thunder Fury stocks, it's gonna stun the mobs. For skills, I'm using Heal, Regeneration, Loyalty, and then Charge right there. And then lastly is Inspire. If you don't want to use Inspire, you can always use Guardian for that cheat death, okay? Okay, so how to play this build is pretty easy. Enter Akarat's champion because you don't want to die. When you're here, when you're with Elite, smack them. Da 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 da. Again. Don't die. Oh god, oh god. You see? You see? You see? I died. I almost died. Anyways. So you use pretty much your falling sword as much as you can and mobs. Most likely just for the elites, really, because you're really much elite hunting. But if you want to kill everything faster or progress faster, just grab everything here. Right. Fallen sword. Yay! Stop. Everything dies. Yay! That's how you play this thing. It's pretty much not that hard, but I'm on level 70 because when I talk, I die really quick. I think I'm gonna die. Watch. Bam. See? Bam. Things just die. There you go. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. See, I just died. If you do enjoy the video, a thumbs up would definitely be appreciated. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll try my best to answer them. And don't forget to subscribe for future content. And I'll see you guys later. Okay, so love ya. Bye. Mwah.